Okay, sorry, this is taking forever to load. Here is my instructional unit by me, Carrie Van Winkle. The class profile. So the setting that I was in was a private charter school. The school served grade levels, kindergarten through 12, but we only serve children with special needs. So we go kindergarten up to age 22 until they age out. There's 300 plus students at the school. It's a suburban community. The grade level that I did was middle school, but academically the texts that we're using in class are 4th and 5th grade, 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in there for reading level for the students. And then I did reading class. The ethnicity of the students in my class, we had one Hispanic girl and 6 boys and girls that were white or Caucasian. We had 2 girls and 5 boys. One English language learner, which is this Hispanic girl, and then the rest were fluent English proficient. All 7 of the students have autism. The standards that we used, these are extended standards. However, our school is not required to use them, but these would be the standards that we would use if we were on in a public school. So to ask and answer questions about unknown words in a text and to determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text, distinguishing literal from non-literal language. So for board work, this kind of is going to break it down, but which I'm not going to read this to you. I'll show you on the next couple slides. So this is what the board would essentially look like in the classroom. And the way that this works is I'm going to sum up what was on the past 2 slides. So you would tap the board with a whiteboard marker and you would go, what word? Pause for the students to think about it. And then you're going to say, get ready, and then tap the board with a whiteboard marker. And then the students will say the word, which in this case it's absolutely. And then you're going to go ahead and repeat the word, or I did repeat the word, so I'd say, that's right, absolutely. So I'm just going to show you since I've explained how that worked, and then you're going to do it differently on the way back up, but I'll show you. So what word? Get ready. Absolutely, that's right. What word? Get ready. Accomplished. That's right. What word? Get ready. Sobbed. That's right. Nice job. Everybody go ahead and give yourselves a tally. I like how you guys are in your seats with nice calm bodies and you're answering on key and on time. So you give the students tallies to reinforce them for following all of their expectations. The tallies at the end of the day can be turned into points to go to the school store or to earn gift cards or anything that they want to earn, essentially. So yeah, so I'm going to keep going. So if you hear me tell the kids to give themselves a tally, that's what they do in class to reinforce the students. What word? Get ready. Pleaded. Nice job. What word? Get ready. Evidence. Nice job. What word? Get ready. Heroin. Nice job. So then, after we went completely down, giving the students a what word, pause to think about it. Then on the way back up, you're just going to say, get ready, tap the board, and the students are going to repeat the word. On the way back up, you're also not going to repeat after it. So I'll be just answering like I'm a student, not the teacher. So get ready. Heroin. Get ready. Evidence. Get ready. Pleaded. Get ready. Sobbed. Get ready. Accomplished. Get ready. Absolutely. Nice job, guys. Give yourself a tally, and thank you for staying on time. So then on the way back up, you're going to do that to go over the words again. The next thing that you would do with the students is you'd switch it up. So you'd say, get ready, and then you'd tap a certain word. The important part about this is never to pick the marker up off the board and to make sure that your marker is only pointing at one certain word when you get ready to ask it, so that the students know exactly what word they're supposed to be answering so that everybody is together and on time. So, what word? Obviously you can't see what word I'm pointing to, so just bear with me, but, oh, yeah, I can get a mouse on here, I think, maybe. What word? Get ready. Absolutely, nice job. What word? Get ready. Evidence, nice job. What word? Get ready. Whoop. Heroin, nice job. What word? Get ready. Pleaded. What word? Get ready. Accomplished. What word? Get ready. Sobbed. And so you do that just randomly. The next part is you're going to give students individual turns to answer, so to see sort of where they are. I could show you what that looked like, but it would honestly look like the same exact thing that I just did. But essentially you're going to go around and you're going to do the same thing where you locate your marker to a word, and then you say, get ready, tap the board, I'm sorry, you don't say get ready. You say their name and tap the board, and then they're supposed to respond. So I'm going to use pseudonyms, so A, and then they'd answer, B, and then they'd answer, C, and then they'd answer. So if you notice that during the introducing of these words, or any time when you notice a student isn't really getting the word, or they're not answering on time or on key, you can ask them for that particular word. This lets you break it down and assess. This is the formative assessment where you're kind of seeing, like, do they understand what this word is? Are they able to pronounce it effectively? Are they able to answer on key and on time? So that's a way to formatively assess the students, and then you can ask them to repeat it just to get some extra practice if they were struggling with that word. I put the other words up here that I did for my lesson plan, but I'm not going to go through and do that again with all of these words. One really cool thing is that when we were going over the words, a student asked what the word tightwad meant. And the word tightwad, we said, is somebody who's really tight with their money. And then we were able to ask, okay, well, who's a tightwad in our book that we've been reading, and relate that word back to the text. So that was really cool. So the next kind of step is you'd circle 2 of these words that you want the students to do their best guess for. So for the best guess words, I circled heroin and introduction. So here's what they actually mean, just for reference, if a substitute is teaching and doesn't know what that means, or if somebody else is teaching the class. So when the students, they're going to get out their notebooks and they're going to write this in a complete form. So my best guess is that heroin means blank. I know the subject blank is about blank. So they need to put it in this complete format for them to get a tally and earn points for the day. So they just basically guess what that word means, and after they guess what it means, they can say it. I've heard them say things like, well, one time I saw in a movie that they talked about a heroine in the Hunger Games, or something similar to that. And you don't correct them immediately if their answer's not right. You just take 3 or 4 students, get their answers, and then you're going to do the other remaining students for the second word. So you do it with the first word. You go over, like, putting together kind of what the students did. So if you liked what J said, and you liked what M said, and you liked what K said, but you liked little pieces of each one, then you could say, oh, I like how this student said this student said this, and this student said this. These are all really good examples of what this word means. And then if you need to add on to it and say, here's some additional things that this word means and that are important about this word, you can do that as well then. So for introduction, you do the same exact thing. My best guess is that introduction means blank. And usually they'll say, I know the word intro means the beginning. I've heard this word when writing, and it's the introduction of the sentence. For assessments, I kind of talked about formative assessment a little bit. Going over the individual turns with the students is part of their formative assessment, just to see where they are right now with those words. And then all of these words were pulled from the mixed up files of Basil E. Frankweiler, which is the book that they're currently reading on the 3rd to 5th grade level. So the way to test understanding for the meanings of these words and all of the words together, because they do this every morning with different words that they're planning on reading that day, the test at the end of the book would kind of be their summative assessment for the semester or for that unit. So things that you're going to do when you're going over best guess, the steps are, do you know the word or phrase? Do you know any of the word parts? Have you heard the word? Have you heard a similar word? Or is the word from a specific subject? So those are some things to think about when the students are doing their best guess. These are questions they're going to ask themselves to try to help them get to what that word means. A lot of the times the students will ask, like, can I get a hint? And then you have to think on your toes sometimes to give them hints that won't actually give what the word means away. So usually it's using examples of what that means. So some strengths of the lesson are that the students really understood how to do this lesson because they've been doing it since the beginning of the school year. Some of the weaknesses were my flaws, not the students. I wouldn't signal on time with the marker, so they didn't answer on time, and I was really nervous for the lesson, so they didn't do that either. And so I think just being more comfortable with the lesson itself would have been helpful as well. The students get practice with multiple words, so they're able to practice the words and pronouncing them and also defining the words. And then later on, those students will see those words in their text that they're reading, so they have more reading comprehension skills when it comes to reading the text. They're not questioning what that word means because we just went over it in class. Because a lot of the times when they do best guess, they're not getting those words right, even if they seem like words that students will know. A lot of the times I've seen that they don't actually know what they mean, so it's a really great thing that we take that time in the beginning of class to go over what some of the words in the text do mean. I think that when you do individual turns, it's a really great way to accent the diversity in the classroom because not all students are on the same level. Some students are reading at a 3rd grade level, some students are reading at a 5th grade level, so you can see which students are struggling with actually defining these words, which students are struggling with not speaking out also, but you can see a lot of different things for the diversity in the classroom. But when you do individual turns, it's great because you get that opportunity to help students go over words that they didn't get initially. And also, if a student's really close to getting a best guess, but they're not giving you exactly what you want, you can prompt them a little bit like, oh, why do you think that? Why do you think this? And just kind of like encourage them to keep talking through their thoughts and working through it. And then once they've got to the answer that you think is good, if they're close, then you can have them read it back to you in a complete frame, which is really cool as well because it's delaying the prompting and you're working through it together with the students when they raise their hand to speak out.